Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and we have a question today. What would possibly make a mother-son combo go into the theater on board a cruise ship and slap a senior citizen and hit a senior citizen? What possible reason could they do that? But before we get to that, I do have a couple of other stories I need to cover first, and we're going to start off talking about the Carnival Vista. Now, a couple days ago, I did a video about Carnival Vista was once again having propulsion problems. She was heading into port, had to reduce speed. This caused her to arrive into port late, delayed disembarkation, delayed embarkation. Carnival did bring technicians on board the cruise ship. Took about 10 hours to repair before the Carnival Vista was able to leave about 2 a.m. in the morning. Now, according to Carnival, the repairs are done. The ship is good. The ship is fine. She's back up to speed. No itinerary changes. Nothing that is going to affect any current sailing. They said the propulsion problem was unrelated to the propulsion problems that the ship had just a month ago. Now, according to Carnival, this solves Vista's problems. No future cruises are going to be affected. No itineraries are going to be affected. She's good to go, ready to sail. But with the Carnival Vista's history, well, take it as you will. Next up, we have a small change from Royal Caribbean and their private island destination of Coco Cay. If you've ever been there, there is a tram that runs up and down the dock. Now, we're not talking about the trams that go around the island, just the one that goes from the ship up to the visiting location. So this went into effect on October the 1st, where the ship-to-shore tram service was no longer going to be used, was no longer going to be available, except for those that had special needs. Now, like I said, the tram that goes around the island to the different spots on Coco Cay, that one is still going to be running. That one is still available for everyone. But the tram from the ship to the actual island itself down the dock is only going to be for those that are special needs. Now, how Royal Caribbean's going to check that, they didn't say. It's more likely going to be on an honor type system. So if you have an upcoming cruise to Coco Cay, you may see that change. Now, starting in January of 2025, Margaritaville at Sea's Paradise is going to be adding Nassau, Bahamas as one of its port stops, but they're going to be doing a ship-to-resort type situation there in Nassau, Bahamas, which will also provide passengers access into the Margarita Beach Resort there in Nassau, Bahamas. Now, they are calling this an excursion. They're pricing it at $99 per person, which gives fans of Margaritaville at Sea another option to go to. Now, Margaritaville at Sea, it's a very inexpensive cruise. It's a weekend cruise getaway. But look, if you just need a cruise, get away for a couple days, little hop over to the Bahamas, Margaritaville at Sea could be an option for you. Now, Norwegian Cruise Lines, they have signed a 10-year agreement with the Port of Galveston. So starting in 2025, when the new cruise terminal is built, the one that is going to be used by MSC Cruise Lines will also be shared by Norwegian Cruise Lines. They plan to bring 2 ships permanently to Galveston, the Norwegian Prima and the Norwegian Viva, sailing out of Galveston, doing Western Caribbean cruises. Now, Norwegian has been doing seasonal sailings out of Galveston, but this is going to be their first permanent ships that are going to stay in Galveston year-round. And they said there's also a possibility that we could see some ships from their sister brands, Oceania Cruises and Regent Seven Seas Cruises. Now, the new port is not scheduled to be open until November of 2025. MSC will be joining Galveston at that time. And then Norwegian Cruise Lines will also become a permanent fixture sailing out of Galveston, Texas. Galveston continues to grow. We continue to get more cruise ships, more cruise lines, building new cruise terminals. Galveston happens to be my closest home port, my favorite home port. So yeah, I'm excited that we're going to have more opportunities for cruising, more ships, more sailings, different cruise lines, which is really exciting news for those that sail out of Galveston. And finally, we're going to talk about an altercation that took place on the MSC Seascape one day after she embarked. On October the 5th, they left the port of Miami. There were 2 passengers on board the ship, a mother and a son, Kelly Lynn Ryan and her son, Dylan Ryan, who ended up getting into a physical altercation with an elderly passenger. Now, we don't know all of the facts. We don't have all of the information. If somebody witnessed this firsthand and could share anything, that would be great. But this is what we do know. But this is what we know, and this is what they reported as seeing on the ship's security footage. So the incident occurred about 9:30 at night, October the 6th, in the ship's main theater. According to the reports in the surveillance video, you can see the mother, Kelly Lynn, who's 49, slap an elderly cruise passenger, followed by her son, Dylan, striking the elderly cruise passenger several times. So I don't know what's going on that would cause a mom to hop up and slap an elderly passenger, and then for the son to get up and strike the elderly passenger multiple times. Now, what we don't know is what led up to the attack. What caused it? They say they are withholding that information to protect the privacy of the victim and their family. So they're not saying what started it, what caused it, what created it. We're in the main theater. So was it seat saving? Was alcohol involved? Was somebody being loud during a show? We honestly don't know. But for the life of me, I cannot figure out a reason or a justifiable cause as to why somebody would hop up out of their seat and strike an elderly person. Now, the next day when the cruise ship reached Falmouth, Jamaica, the son Dylan was put off of the cruise ship. He was disembarked. He was done. He was no longer sailing. He can now figure out his own way home. However, they let the mom, Kelly, stay on board the ship. Now, I don't know why the son would get off and the mom wouldn't, why the mom stayed on board the ship. Now, while she was able to continue on for the rest of the week, she didn't get away with it. When they arrived back in Miami on October the 12th, local police were waiting for her. She was arrested. She was taken into custody and charged with battery of a person over the age of 65. So she did not get away scot-free. Why they didn't put her off the ship in Falmouth, Jamaica with her son, don't know. Why they let her stay on the ship? Was she confined to her cabin? Was she allowed to simply continue to roam around the ship after this altercation? Again, information we don't know right now. Now, that is what we currently know. What's going to happen now that they are back home, back on land? We'll have to wait and see if any further information comes out about that. But I do want to make it clear, violence on board cruise ships is not really all that common. Yeah, when it does happen, it becomes a story. People talk about it. It gets shared across social media. But in the grand scheme of cruising, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of cruise ships sailing all the time. Thousands and thousands of people from all different walks of life on board cruise ships continuously, day after day, week after week. And when you look at those numbers and compare it to the number of actual altercations that happen on board cruise ships, the number is pretty low. But my question to you guys is going to be, what do you think could possibly have happened? What could possibly have caused this mother and son to hop up and start hitting this person over the age of 65? What fathomable reason could there possibly be? What could have happened to make you now face criminal charges over something that happened on board a cruise ship? I'm not sure that we will ever know exactly what happened unless somebody was there and overheard the actual altercation. But yeah, I just cannot think of a reason that would ever cause me to want to do that. All right, and that is going to be our video for today. If you've enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. We will be live tonight, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Join Tiffany and I. We're going to talk all things cruising, catch up with our awesome cruising community. We are going to be talking about the upcoming group cruise. I think we have finally picked the ship, picked the itinerary. It's ready to start booking and get people together for the group cruise. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.